burden of proof to the industry to prove their techniques are safe. And let me add to that, if you would, how would that be implemented in city policy, that principle? What would it look like?
No, as a future mayor of the city of Denton, I just graduated from OSHA 10 training, and you never leave it up to the industry to regulate themselves. You never do that. I think was that part of your question?
Well, the precautionary principle, which would say that it's up to the industry to prove that something is harmful or safe, as opposed to the current model, which is usually it's up to cities or citizens to establish harm.
No, I would never leave it up to the industry to prove whether or not something is safe, because industries tend to look out for their own advantages. So therefore, it's very important that we have an independent staff to do that, and also you, the citizens, you all are our eyes and our ears and our everything as far as this natural gas thing is concerned. So since natural gas has been going on since 1968, it is up to you all to call something in if you see something that looks out of place. No, I don't think we should leave it up to them to report if something happens or something is outside the guideline. As I completed my OSHA 10 training a few weeks ago, there are a lot of safety things that can go wrong on the natural gas drilling site. And that's from an explosion to contaminating the water, to dust, noise pollution, light pollution. And it's very important that we have someone that represents the city and also the best interest of the citizens as part of that. Thank you.
For effective regulation, you have to be able to identify definitions as to what something means. And Ms. Woodthorpe correctly touched upon, I believe, that if you say industry is to prove it's safe, well, who is to set the standard of what safe is? If you're making industry do that, you're putting the public at risk. So, bottom line is, it's got to be governmental. The governmental has to establish what is safe. Now, the way you do that is by identifying what is clearly unsafe. You can't prove everything is safe. There's no end to that. If you tried to prove a bicycle is safe, you couldn't do it. It's not possible, because bicycles can have accidents. So the bottom line is, you have to identify what is unsafe, what is not realistic, what is dangerous, what is unhealthy, what puts people at an unreasonable risk level. And it's got to be the government that does that. You cannot rely on industry to come up with that.
I think I've already answered the question. Yes, you make the industry come forward and prove their case, just like we would anyone else. And secondly, you do it by having balanced committees with citizens on them who listen to all voices. You also do it by making sure that when people come to you, you listen to them. And you make sure that when they bring up dangers of health, welfare, and safety, you listen to them, and then you go get the information, the data, the research from people who are in this building who have known for years what was going on, but were never asked. How do you implement it as policy? That's what you make as policy. Part of leadership is setting policy. Well, my policy is really simple. You go for the best and the brightest, you take the best data that you have, and you look for the evidence. And you don't act out of ignorance, or you don't act on guessing, or what you think, or what you hope. You act on what you know, and you make it data safe. Now, how else can we do it too? There are many ways to make drilling, fracking safe. It's just we have to have the courage to implement it. Tracing, noise regulation, regulations on drilling, using electrical motors instead of diesel. All these things that we talk about are just waiting for us to step forward and say, this is what it takes to drill right. And if the industry wants to come along and be safe and work with us, let's all work together. But one thing we don't compromise, don't guess at, and don't make a lot of speculation about is health, welfare, and safety of our citizens.
Okay, on to closing remarks. This is your chance to say whatever you think is important, whatever you left out, what you want to emphasize. I think it's back to you, Mayor Gross, in terms of the order. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, again, sitting in these seats for a couple of hours is a real labor on your part. I want to thank you for doing it. It shows that you've got heart and spirit, and you care about the community, you care something beyond what you might be doing yourself. And that's what it's all about. That's what makes being an elected person worthwhile. If these seats were all empty, that's not a city that cares. So I'm glad that you're here and you're willing to listen to us. I think there are a lot of things that can be done about the gas bill. We're going through a vetting process now that's absolutely critical. And it's going to be publicly vetted in a number of ways here on out before something is passed in final form. There's been a good start with the minority report and the elements that were passed by the committee as far as suggestions. There's going to be a lot more vetting. There's going to be a lot of adding and taking, I would suggest, from that process. There are a number of things that I think that we can do. 2 years ago, Calvin Tillman of DISH called me and asked me to participate in a group of elected officials, industry representatives, and other interested parties, including a couple of legislators from the state, to sit together to come up with a best practices standard for the state of Texas. We did it in North Texas as a start, but we had the industry from the entire state there. And we came up with a pipeline, gas pipeline gathering, best practices on how to route these pipelines, because the pipelines themselves can pose a far greater danger than the wells. And there was no standardized practice. Some industry pipeline developers did a really good job. A lot of safety involved, a lot of cooperation with local governments and with communities. A lot of pipeline companies didn't give a flip. And cities wouldn't even find out that the pipelines had located there until they're coming in for a permit, and they already have it routed, and they already have state approval, and there's darn little a city can do about it. So we came up with best practices, and it's being implemented now throughout the state. I think the same thing can be done with drilling. The EPA recently passed a best practices guideline, which it put out to 2015 for implementation. A number of elements of that EPA pronouncement mirrored a letter that my committee, the North Texas Clean Air State Committee, put out a few months ago to the EPA, asking them to consider green drilling standards. And they did, in fact, take that upon themselves to issue a report. I think Denton can be proactive. I think it might be possible, it's one of the things I want to vet, to implement those standards now, not wait to 2015, but to utilize what the industry has proposed itself, some of the industry, and what the EPA suggests is possible. Thank you for being here tonight.
Well, I am Donna Woodford. I originally came to Denton on a gerontology scholarship to the University of North Texas in grad school. So I sat where you sat. I've been in this room attending seminars and presentations before. And what I say to you, the students, is I challenge you to utilize this opportunity to make your vote count. Your vote does count at the city level and also at the county level. And we need more students to come out and vote. So I challenge each one of you all, text your friends tonight. You know, my cell phone is available. I'm available to you all after this. And what I want to be a mayor that you actually see on your college campus. I want to be a mayor that actually attend your recitals and your graduations too. Because I believe that Denton is big enough that we all can know each other. And this issue of natural gas drilling is a serious issue. Each one of us had no perfect answer for you tonight. And that's the beautiful thing about the process. It's an ongoing learning experience. There are many long-term impacts and effects on our city. I would like to see in the city of Denton that I love, I would everyone, whichever one of us you choose, will come out and really spend time with the citizens and really get to know you all and allow you all to address us and give us your concerns. I don't want to just see you in city council meeting when you're upset about something we've already passed. As future mayor of the city of Denton, I recognize that you, the citizen, is at the top of the organizational chart. Natural gas drilling has many long-term health effects. Water quality, pollution. I am for the highest level of restriction allowed to be placed on the natural gas drilling within the city of Denton. As future leader, I embrace the idea of open meetings, less use of closed meetings. I encourage each one of you to watch the public access show that I created as a student here at UNT in 2005 on Channel 25 and also Verizon Channel 39. I cover a different topic every week. I come on Tuesday and Thursdays at 8:30 in the morning, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday night at 7:30 p.m. And I challenge you, the students, to give me a call, text me a note tonight. Tell me what's important to you, because I do want to be the future mayor of the city of Denton. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the DAG group who had us here this evening, and I'd like the opportunity to come over and speak to so many of our students, as well as the rest of our citizenry. I also like the fact that we've been allowed to explore one issue here tonight. And I think the choice is pretty stark and pretty clear. That is, do we want leadership that only sits around and doesn't listen to the citizens, hears petition after petition after petition, and does nothing? Or do you want somebody who will listen, understand the dangers, and take action? Do we want leadership which sits by and says, well, we're really very limited, we can't do a lot? Or do we want leadership who comes up with specific proposals, as I listed here tonight, and says, yes, we can do these things. Yes, we can protect our people. Yes, we can protect our citizens from the dangers that are proposed by this heavy industry use. That's the clear choice that we want. And that's what we need in a city, is leadership that listens and that acts. I have Ed Menino, who's a mayor up in Boston. He said, government reacts, we have to act. Cities have to act. And that is time. It is time for a new city council which will act, which will take into consideration all factors, will listen to all people, and won't load committees, take positions, and stop the conflicts of interest in the backroom deal. It's time to have some protection of the people and an open office in the city of the mayor. I will do that. I ask for your vote. I ask for your help. Because without your help, you have to go out and get 10 of your friends and tell them what you heard here tonight. Because if you don't, and you don't vote, all the goodwill, all the good ideas mean nothing. It all comes down to that vote. We start voting on April 30th, that's this coming Monday, and we will vote through the following Tuesday. And then we have Election Day on May 12th. It is time to make a choice for the Denton and for the future of Denton, and make sure that we have a Denton which is clean, which is clear, which is a city that we all are proud of and we want to live in. I thank you, I ask you for your vote, and I ask you for your support.
Let me have one closing remark of my own, which is, Peggy, I forgot to announce this, but the League of Women Voters have an excellent voter's guide up here. I encourage you to come and pick one up. It's got everything you need to know about voting. There's also other literature up here from the candidates and from the groups that have been here. Please come around and mill up here. Thank you all for coming tonight. Let's thank our candidates.